This is WHEC TV, proudly serving Rochester. News 10 NBC Today starts right now.
And we start with breaking news this morning. First, a mangled mess on 490 after a serious head-on crash between a car and a tractor trailer. This will impact your morning commute.
Also breaking, horrific. That's how first responders describe an overnight crash in Webster. A child is dead. We have the latest on the investigation. Also, new breaking details overnight in the bike path terror attack in New York City. What we are now finding out about the man police say killed 8 people and injured a dozen more. It's Wednesday, November 1st, 2017. I want to get right to that breaking news we've been on top of. Part of 490 shut down right now after a serious head-on crash. It happened just before 2 this morning. Here's the latest video just into our newsroom. Deputies are still investigating, but we can tell you a small passenger car and a tractor trailer crashed. This happened on the eastbound lanes between the Pittsford Route 31 and Bushnell's Basin exits. Important information about this, that portion of 490 in the eastbound direction is closed right now, so you'll want to avoid this if at all possible. Westbound traffic is moving along fine. We are working with deputies right now to get an update. As soon as we learn more, we will let you know. More breaking news, this time out of Webster. State police say a child is dead after a late-night crash on 104. Investigators believe alcohol was involved. Casey Jones tracking the latest breaking details that we just got in. Casey, what can you tell us?
Well, we're told an SUV went off the road, crossed a service road, plowing into a tree, and now a child is dead. This happened just before 11 o'clock last night on Route 104 East in Webster near Barrett Drive. State police say a 31-year-old man was driving that SUV and 3 kids were in the car. They were 5, 2, and 6 months old. Again, state police tell us one of those children are dead. It is still early in the investigation, so state police aren't telling us their names yet. And right now, we don't know if those children are related to the driver. But we do know those survivors are being treated at Strong right now. State police would not confirm whether alcohol was the cause of this tragic accident, but they do believe it was involved. Again, to recap our breaking news, a child is dead in Webster. In the next half hour, first responders really taking this crash hard. This was not an easy investigation to handle. In our next half hour, a trooper will talk all about that. Guys, we'll see you in the next 27 minutes.
Okay, Pat. Casey, thank you. To Ontario County now, a major fire to tell you about. This one so bad, firefighters can't even get into the home because of the flames. This is happening right now on Pearl Street in Clifton Springs, just south of Hopewell Town Line Road. We have a crew on the way to the scene. Hope to take you there live in our next half hour. No word on any injuries in this fire. New details overnight on the deadly terror attack in Lower Manhattan. Sources identify the suspect as 29-year-old Saifulo Saipov. He is an immigrant from Uzbekistan and right now is in critical condition after being shot by police. We're told 8 people were killed, nearly a dozen more injured, when police say Saipov deliberately drove a rented truck at least 10 blocks on a bike path near the World Trade Center yesterday afternoon. We found out at least 6 of those killed were from Argentina and Belgium. Law enforcement sources say Saipov screamed "Allahu Akbar" and came out of the truck carrying a pellet gun before being shot by police. Also new this morning, investigators say they found a note inside the truck claiming he committed the attack in the name of ISIS. Officials say Saipov was living in New Jersey, drove for Uber, and also has ties to Ohio and Florida. The latest on the reaction now from Washington on this terror attack. President Donald Trump tweeting out his response. He tweeted, quote, "Enough to ISIS-inspired attacks," adding that he's ordered Homeland Security to step up extreme vetting of immigrants like New York's 29-year-old terror suspect. Lawmakers say they are unsure how to stop these type of lone wolf attacks. One possible solution, tracking people who may be inspired by terror groups or have an axe to grind with the U.S.
I mean, you can't assign a police officer to every American to walk around with them. I mean, even if you did, you couldn't guarantee they would be safe. I'm not sure there's a legislative solution to it.
The key to this is intelligence gathering, trying to find out these people before they act and stop them.
ISIS and al-Qaeda have both called on followers to use vehicles as weapons. In this case, though, it is still unclear if this suspect was under the control of ISIS or just inspired by them. We've been digging to find out more about that suspect. News 10 NBC's Charles Molyneux in Paterson, New Jersey right now, where police believe the suspect lived. He will join us in our 6 a.m. hour with a live report right here on News 10 NBC Today.
5:05, time now to get a check of your first alert forecast with meteorologist Rich Cornelia. Rich, another chilly morning out there.
Yeah, good morning, Nikki. We are in the 30s, low 40s right now. It's dry to at least start today. We have some clouds out there, 40 even at the airport. Not much of a breeze right now to the south at 6, and you can see some of the clouds moving in. There might be some breaks in the eastern southern Finger Lakes. There may be a chance for a little peekaboo sunshine first thing this morning, but clouds will generally win out. And here's the system we're tracking coming in from the Ohio Valley with an area of light rain. And yes, that is a little light snow in central Indiana, northern Ohio. But the bulk of this moisture, once it gets here, though, will be in the form of just raindrops. Here's the HRRR model midday through 5 this afternoon. Yeah, you see all that green? That means take the umbrella as you head out this morning. Going to turn wet this afternoon. 30s at 8 a.m., 40s at lunchtime, and a cold rain this afternoon, staying in the mid-40s. Pat?
Rich, thank you. The man once named as a suspect in the murder of child teen Brittany Drexel is waking up in jail again this morning. Federal probation agents say Timothy Deshaun Taylor violated the conditions of his release for an unrelated robbery. Drexel disappeared in 2009 in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Last year, a jailhouse informant told the FBI Taylor and his father had roles in her kidnapping, rape, and murder, but he was never charged in Drexel's death. Taylor set to appear in U.S. District Court this afternoon. A judge will decide if he should stay in jail.
Later today, the Rochester man accused of killing a Gates man is expected to make a plea in court today. David Torres is charged in the murder of 26-year-old Devin Lewis. Police say last February they were called to the area of Sherman Street and Emerson Street for an assault. Police found Lewis with injuries to his upper body. He was taken to Strong Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Torres is scheduled to be in court for a plea hearing at 9:15 this morning. We'll post updates for you at WHEC.com.
All elective surgeries and procedures scheduled today at Rochester General Hospital have been canceled or diverted after a water main break. We're told walk-ins can still get treatment today. Officials say construction work at the hospital broke a water main yesterday afternoon near the Carter Street garage. Construction workers have repaired the break, but water usage is still limited as a precaution. It is that time of year already. The Irondequoit Bay Outlet Bridge will open to traffic. The bridge connects Culver Road in Irondequoit to Lake Road in Webster. It closes in the summer to allow boats access to the water. The county DOT will begin putting the bridge into place around 7 o'clock this morning, and it will stay open until March 30th. A man not too far from Rochester accused of doing something incredibly disturbing in a McDonald's bathroom.
He's admitted in court to committing sex acts. Ahead at 5:19, we're learning more about the case, including the age of his victim. That is sending shockwaves throughout one community.
And then nuclear disaster right now. 200 people could be dead in a tunnel collapse at a North Korean nuclear testing site. Rescuers are continuing to search for survivors. The latest on those efforts coming up on News 10 NBC today.
Plus, you're never more than 10 minutes away from that full News 10 NBC forecast. Waking up to 42 degrees in downtown Rochester right now, but Rich is tracking some rain for your Wednesday. He's back in just 3 minutes.
Bad news for bike enthusiasts. I'm pretty bummed about this because I've used it a lot. Rochester's bike sharing program is going away.
But don't worry, it's only going away for the winter. The bike sharing company Zagster will begin its winter hibernation today by getting rid of those bikes along the streets. City officials say Rochester's first bike share season wrapped up with more than 8,000 riders taking an estimated 22,000 trips since it launched this past July. The bike sharing program will return April 1st next year, and I'm guessing, you know, bikes, snow, salts, sometimes it's hard to navigate in the winter.
That doesn't stop a lot of folks from
Going out there. I have seen people during blizzards out there.
Oh, yeah, on their bikes.
Stop some folks.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, the weather in early April might be worse than it's going to be the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, you got almost 70 coming up.
We got a couple of warm days.
Yeah.
Now, there's plenty of chill in the 10-day forecast, and we'll share that with you in just a second. But let's show you this morning. It is cool to start today. We're in the 30s, low 40s right now. We got 38 degrees in Palmyra early this morning. Hey, up in Irondequoit, you guys are at 40 right now, 41 in Hilton. We got 39 in the city, 39 Avon, 39 Redsdorf, 36 in Attica, 33 in Bristol. There were some flurries in the air in Bristol yesterday. There was a little snow in the air. Southern Genesee County, a lot of reports, folks saw snow in Leroy. Batavia, plenty of folks saw snow in Wyoming County yesterday. Nothing here in Rochester, but a couple of raindrops down in the Finger Lakes yesterday afternoon. But boy, didn't it clear nice just in time for the trick-or-treaters last night. But it was a chilly one for sure yesterday evening. Now the clouds are rolling back in, and here's the system we're tracking for this afternoon, bringing some moisture into the Ohio Valley. A lot of rain A little bit of snow on the northern edge of it. I think by the time this moisture gets here, though, temperatures will be just warm enough that it will be just raindrops for the most part. Now, initially, late morning, early afternoon, if a little shower sneaks into the southern tier, there might be a wet snowflake or two mixed in Wyoming County into the hills of the far southern tier. But you can see everything is pretty much green by 2 this afternoon. We're not talking about a lot of rain, but it will be a chilly, showery type pattern this afternoon. 45 with some raindrops 2 o'clock here in the city. How about 5 o'clock? 43 with some raindrops around Rochester. That'll clear this evening. Another round of rain will come in tomorrow morning, but that's a warm front. And look what happens tomorrow afternoon as we clear up. Yeah, temperatures tomorrow could get up well into the 60s. So we're talking about a nice warm up coming for your Thursday afternoon. Now, rainfall today, nothing much. 1/10 quarter of an inch. The rainfall tomorrow morning will add another 1/10 quarter of an inch. So we're looking at not a lot of rain, but there will be some out there this afternoon and then again early tomorrow morning. So today's forecast, cloudy and cool. Little brief rain, snow shower midday. Then it's just plain rain showers heading into this afternoon. We'll see a high again, only 45, so it will be a little chilly throughout the course of today. Now, tonight we'll stay in the mid-40s through this evening. Mostly cloudy, just a brief shower. Then temperatures will rise towards tomorrow morning. This time tomorrow when you wake it up, we could already be in the 50s. That'll set the stage for mid-60s for highs tomorrow after a morning shower. May even get some breaks of sun in the afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon looking really nice out there. Friday, maybe an early shower, then some sun in the afternoon. Cool, but a nice fall day on Saturday, sunny and dry. Sunday, we warm it up again. Could be into the 60s with some increasing clouds. Warm on Monday in the mid-60s with some rain showers. Then it turns chillier. Check out that 10-day forecast back down well into the 40s, and it could turn cold by the end of next week. And then we're 10 minutes away from that full forecast, and coming up in just 10 minutes, we're keeping an eye on that system in the Ohio Valley. We'll let you know more about that. We'll have the drive cast with sunrise, sunset times for today in 10 minutes.
All right, how'd the trick-or-treating go?
You know what? It was very disappointing.
Yeah?
So few kids. I don't know.
Really?
Yes.
I know folks up in Irondequoit. One of the guys works here, Keith, and I know some friends on Facebook. Just hundreds and hundreds of kids in Irondequoit. But in my part of the city, it was so quiet.
Did you guys see on Facebook? I posted a picture. I just put a box out because we go to bed so early.
I said I'm sleeping. Don't knock.
And everyone said kids are going to come and just take all the candy. I had a ton of candy left over, so nobody even came up.
I should have driven by your house.
Don't worry, I brought some for you.
The leftovers are for you, Rich.
Goodness. All right, thank you, Rich. To a developing story now, CBS Television is now investigating a sexual harassment allegation against actor Jeremy Piven.
Actress and reality star Ariane Bellamar claims in post on Twitter the Emmy-winning Entourage star groped her on at least 2 separate occasions. Bellamar says it happened while the two were in his trailer on the set of Entourage. Piven, the star of a news show on CBS, he denies the allegation.
After allegations against Oscar winner Kevin Spacey, NBC has edited its latest episode of This Is Us to remove a line from referencing Spacey. On Sunday, Star Trek actor Anthony Rapp made headlines when he accused Spacey of making a sexual advance on him when he was 14 years old. Netflix has also decided to pull its hit show House of Cards, saying it was deeply troubled by the allegations.
If you're just joining us, folks, we are tracking breaking news tragedy on 104.
At least one child is dead after a crash in Webster. 3 others are in the hospital. We're still working to get more information from state police. We have the latest straight ahead at 5:31.
Then at 5:33, terror attack, continuing to learn new details by the minute. 8 people dead, a dozen more injured in New York City following that attack in the name of ISIS. Coming up, new information from federal authorities right here on News 10 NBC today. 5:20 is your time right now. New this morning, an Albany area man facing up to 20 years in state prison.
59-year-old Kelly Tremblay admitted to committing a sexual act with a 5-year-old inside the bathroom of a McDonald's. Police say he abused the child in late August. He also admitted to inappropriately touching a 7-year-old. Tremblay will be sentenced next month.
New this morning, up to 200 workers could be dead after a tunnel collapse at a North Korean nuclear test site. Japanese broadcaster TV Asahi says around 100 people were trapped when the unfinished tunnel caved in. A second collapse during a rescue operation meant it was possible the death toll could be up to 200, maybe even more. Experts say a series of tremors and landslides near the nuclear test base has destabilized the ground surrounding the region.
The former mayor of Jackson, Mississippi, gives one thief a discipline session to remember. After trying to break into his car, it was all caught on camera. Former Mayor Tony Yarber caught a man trying to break into his car outside of his home over the weekend. After a fight between the two, Yarber pulled the intruder into his garage and disciplined him using a paddle.
Wow.
The would-be burglar
was
arrested and charged with auto burglary and possession of marijuana. He is now in jail.
Follow-up now to a story first told you about on News 10 NBC. The Utah nurse arrested for refusing to allow a police officer to draw blood from an unconscious patient has settled in court. Nurse Alex Wubbles and her attorney announced a settlement with Salt Lake City and the university that runs the hospital for $500,000. Wubbles says she plans to use some of that money to help others in similar situations. Also plans to give some of it to a nurses union that will help stop abuse of nurses. We are staying on top of several breaking stories. First, out of control, a massive fire happening right now at a home in Ontario County.
The flames so intense, firefighters could not get inside to fight. It looks like a complete loss here, guys. We have a crew there ahead. We get a live update on what's happening right now.
Plus, a head-on crash between a tractor trailer and a car on 490, leaving a mangled mess, and will impact your morning commute. What you need to know ahead at 5:32 here on News 10 NBC Today.
And you're never more than 10 minutes away from that full News 10 NBC forecast. Waking up to temps in the 40s. And boy, it's not going to get much warmer today. Plus, showers in the forecast. Rich is back in 3 minutes.
Now, from News 10 NBC, here's your first alert forecast with Rich Camelia.
It at 5:25 on this Wednesday morning. Actually quiet out there right now. A little chill in the air. We're in the upper 30s, low 40s. Some clouds around town. It's a dry start to the day, so we don't have to worry about any precipitation this morning. Just a light breeze out of the south at 6, and you can see the clouds around the region. There might be a couple of breaks first thing this morning. If we catch a little bit of sun, wouldn't be shocked. But overall, we're looking at a lot of clouds in the forecast for today. So after a dry morning, we will see some showers come in. So you want to grab that umbrella, have it ready to go for the afternoon. No heavy rain. We're not looking at any wind-driven rain, anything like that. But there will be showers in the air midday through the afternoon, and it will be a cold rain today at times, with temperatures staying only in the low to mid-40s through this afternoon. Sunrise today, 7:46. Sunset tonight will be at 6:02. So after a dry, okay morning, we'll turn a little wet out there for us this afternoon. Well, much more on that coming up in the next half hour. Plus, we'll take a look. We're turning the clocks back.
Oh, that's right,
We
this
fall
weekend.
back this weekend. We'll talk about that. Plus, we're now in November.
Yeah.
So we'll see how we made out October temperature-wise. See if we set the record for the warmest October in history.
We're in the running, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, Rich, thank you very much. News 10 NBC Today, tracking breaking news. Officials investigating a serious crash right now on a busy highway. It involved a car and a tractor trailer. This will no doubt impact your morning commutes. Our crews have been working all night to bring you the latest information. That's coming up at 5:32. Then up in flames, a church catching fire while you were sleeping. The blaze could be seen for miles. Ahead at 5:34. The details of what we know right now as investigators continue to search for a cause. News 10 NBC Today continues next.
Stickley Audi & Company. Thousands to choose from, on sale for a limited time, up to 70% off suggested retail. Through Monday only at Stickley Audi & Company, Eastview Mall, Victor.
You know, Abby, during these holiday times, huge selection and savings always have a seat at the table.
Can I join?
You may.
Because I have a great deal right here. A new 2018 Kia Sorento, only $259 a month from Fusillo Kia of Greece.
And that's how you get over the river and through the woods this holiday season on a brand new Sorento with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. See it for yourself online and right here 7 days a week. It is
huge.
Halloween horror. We are on top of two serious crashes from overnight. The first leaving a child dead in Webster. The other, a crash between a car and tractor trailer on 490 in Perrington. News 10 NBC has been on both scenes all morning long, and we have the very latest.
Fire crews forced to let a home burn out after it catches on fire overnight. This video just in out of Ontario County. Flames reportedly shooting through the roof. Our crews just arrived on scene. A live report coming up.
Plus, a busy night for firefighters as a church also goes up in flames. The smoke and fire could be seen from a mile away. What we know is fire crews trying to figure out what sparked this blaze.
Bloodbath. A terrorist rams through a crowd of people, killing 8, injuring several others. Investigators have been working overnight trying to piece this together. So what are they looking into? We speak with a former FBI agent.
Apple pie anger. An upstate New York man could get jail time, all because of an incident involving apple pie. The story that will have you talking on this Wednesday, November 1st, 2017. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Nikki Ryan.
And I'm Pat Taney. Meteorologist Rich Cornelia will have your first alert forecast in a second. Want to get to that breaking news, though, from overnight. A lot to tell you about. A child is dead. 3 others hurt after a car swerves off the road and into the woods.
This happened on Route 104 near Barrett Drive in Webster. Our crews were at the scene all morning long. Casey Jones has the very latest on this crash. And Casey, we're hearing state police believe alcohol may be involved.
Yeah, that's right. State police and Webster police are still ironing out those details, but we do know a child is dead. Sad news to report this morning. Police say this happened after a 31-year-old man driving an SUV went off the road across a service road and plowed into a tree. That man was driving down 104, headed east, not too far away from Barrett Road in Webster when this all happened. When his SUV plowed into that tree, there was a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 6-month-old inside. Police have confirmed that one of those children are dead after this crash. The rest of the survivors were taken to Strong for their injuries. On a tragic scene like this, first responders arrive expecting the worst.
It's a very difficult scene to process. Especially when you have a fatality. You just got to take it like any other scene. You have to make sure you're very thorough with your investigation and make sure that we're handling the investigation to benefit the people that are a victim of the circumstance.
Again, police do believe that alcohol was involved in this crash. State police have launched a criminal investigation trying to figure out how this driver crashed his SUV into a tree and killed a child. We can expect to learn more details from state police this morning. As of right now, that road is open and cleared. Nikki?
Thanks, Casey. Also breaking overnight, part of 490 is still shut down after a serious head-on crash overnight.
This one happened just before 2 this morning. Deputies still investigating, but we can tell you a car and a tractor trailer crashed. This happened on the eastbound lanes between the Pittsford, Route 31, and Bushnell's Basin exits. We do not know if anybody was hurt right now or details leading up to the crash. We're working with deputies right now to get an update. As soon as we learn more, we, of course, will let you know.
There's crash causing headaches on the roads for a lot of you this morning. Jazz Williams has the latest on the 490 road closure. Jazz.
Yeah, that's right. So as you mentioned, eastbound traffic is being forced off of 490 at Pittsford Palmyra Road onto 31 because it is closed over to Bushnell Basin. So your best bet here, just exit, head west or head east and then get on Craig Road. You can turn right there and it will loop you all the way around to exit 27. Then you can re-enter 490 eastbound that way. We'll continue to let you know when that opens. Definitely will be sometime after 6 a.m. Pat, Nikki?
Just to reiterate, westbound traffic moving along just fine. Jess, thank you very much. To Ontario County now, a fire so intense, firefighters forced out of the home.
The fire is just south of the village of Clifton Springs. Chris Ravon has just pulled up to the scene. He joins us live. Chris.
Good morning, Nikki. You know, I think back to fires I have covered in the past. This particular one, the smoke that we saw when we pulled up here about 15 minutes ago, it doesn't compare to anything else. Admittedly, the smoke has kind of dissipated a little bit. You still obviously see heavy smoke coming from the top of the home, but when we got here, you couldn't even see the house. You could not see anything that you're currently looking at right now. Give you an idea what it was like for firefighters in Clifton Springs this morning. So 4:02, the call comes in for this fire here at this home, which firefighters tell me is under construction, or was under construction at the very least. They tell me they got here and it was just fully engulfed. They said that they had no chance, basically, when they got here to fight this fire. Again, it's a home. One firefighter told me that crews, construction crews have been working on. You see, obviously, the garbage out in the front driveway area there. The fire still being worked on right now by firefighters, obviously. They've only been here for maybe 90 minutes or so working on this. They're going to need to be here for a little bit longer. We're just south of the village of Clifton Springs, officially in the town of Hopewell in Ontario County. Not too long of a drive for firefighters in Clifton Springs to get here when they got the call. But like I said, they said when they got here, they just had no chance. The fire was just too large So right now they're trying to work on knocking the rest of it down, and we're going to stay on scene and track that progress as they work on it this morning. Live in the town of Hopewell, Ontario County, Chris Horvat, News 10 NBC.
Okay, Chris, thank you. Also tracking breaking news out of Wheatland this morning.
Firefighters responded to a church on fire early this morning. We're told that, according to the search of our records, the address on Union Street belongs to One Road Church. It caught fire around 1 a.m. John Spalding sent us this photo from the scene. You can see the flames and just heavy smoke filling the sky. No word yet on any injuries. A cause is still under investigation. Of course, we'll stay on top of this fire and bring you the latest as soon as we find out more.
Also, continue to stay on top of breaking news out of Lower Manhattan, where 8 people were killed in a terror attack.
11 others were seriously injured. One World Trade Center was lit up in red, white, and blue overnight in honor of the victims of this deadly attack. The incident happened right in the shadow of that trade center, and here's what we know so far.
Well, last half hour, we told you police say 29-year-old Saifulo Zaipov plowed through a crowd of people on a bike path in a rented pickup truck around 3 yesterday morning. Investigators tell us he hopped out of the truck and started to fire a BB gun. Officers returned fire, hitting him. We're told the suspect was taken to the hospital but is not cooperating with police, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. So what exactly will investigators be looking into now? New at 5:30, we spoke with a retired FBI agent here in Rochester who used to cover these types of cases.
Primary areas of focus. One is the crime scene itself, right? We have the vehicle, the rented vehicle from Home Depot, which is going to have a plethora of evidence and information in it. Who knows what's inside there? You have victims and witnesses, their testimony. You have surveillance cameras in the area, not only in the immediate area of the attack, but maybe the ingress routes of the attack.
We've been digging to find out more about that suspect. Charles Molyneux will be live from where police believe the suspect lived in Paterson, New Jersey. That's coming up at 6 a.m., so in about 20 minutes right here on News 10 NBC Today.
It's 5:38. Let's get a first check of that first alert forecast with Rich Kennelia. What, daylight saving time coming up?
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be ending this weekend, so we're going to be falling back. So a little reminder, Saturday night into Sunday morning, we changed the clocks. This is the weekend that we do that, so be prepared. That means the sunset on Sunday. Yeah, it's going to be right near 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. Temperatures right now are in the 30s to near 40 degrees. A chill in the air, but it's a dry start to the morning. Well, there is a system, a weak storm, but it is out there in the Ohio Valley. That'll be coming in our direction, kind of brushing by our region this afternoon, and it will bring an increasing threat of some raindrops later in the day, so be ready for that. So no issues off to work at school this morning, just a seasonable chill in the air, but had those umbrellas ready for the afternoon. Dodging some raindrops, a chilly rain, with temperatures today only in the low to mid-40s. Nikki?
Thanks, Rich. More than 6 months after severe flooding ravaged thousands of homes along the lakeshore, several towns in our area are now finally lifting states of emergency. Irondequoit town officials tell us they have now rescinded its state of emergency. We're told local leaders also spoke with officials in Penfield and Webster, which will also be lifting the order. It was first issued back in May due to high water levels along Lake Ontario, which caused flooding for many homes and business owners.
Later today, the Henrietta Town Board will have its final meeting ahead of elections next week. The reason that's important, Town Supervisor Jack Moore is up for re-election weeks after the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission ruled there is evidence that Moore made discriminatory comments about employees. Moore says the complaints are coming from disgruntled employees who are out to get him. We're told the EEOC and town employees will be discussed at that meeting. It starts at 6:30 tonight.
New this morning, the state education commissioner says all but one struggling school in Rochester made improvements over the last school year. The one that failed to make improvements is Kodak Park School number 41. The Rochester City School District has 60 days to choose one of 2 options. It may appoint an independent receiver to take over the school to develop and implement a school intervention plan. The district can also close the school and seek permission to replace it with a newly registered school.
The nominees are in for this week's Rochester Rocks, the exclusive series here on News 10 NBC, where you pick the best of everything around town.
This week, we want to know where you can find the best seafood. Here are the finalists chosen by you. We had a tie, so there are 6 here, guys. Bernard's Grove in Greece. I've been there. Very good. Palmer's in Henrietta. Davies Seafood in Greece. Captain Jim's Fish Market in Rochester. Black and Blue in Pittsford. Keith Knows Seafood Market in Rochester.
To vote, just head over to our website, WATC.com. Click on Rochester Rocks. You can also use the News 10 NBC app. We'll reveal the winner Friday morning right here on News 10 NBC Today. In upstate New York, man in some trouble this morning. You might not believe why.
This story is just bizarre. How an incident over apple pie could mean jail time for this guy. We'll explain just ahead at 5:47.
Rich Keneally gets really upset when you go after his apple.
Or Nutty Buddies.
Yeah. Plus, staying alive, the Los Angeles Dodgers hanging on by a thread, forcing a Game 7 in the World Series. This one ending while many of you were sleeping.
The highlights next on News 10 NBC Today. Right now, 5:41, 42 degrees as you wake up on this Wednesday morning. Rich's full forecast coming up in just 3 minutes.
5:45. If you stayed up last night, you're probably a little tired. But some are calling it one of the most exciting World Series in baseball history.
The World Series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and Houston Astros will come down to the all-deciding Game 7. The Dodgers needed to win last night to keep their championship hopes alive, and they did. A seventh-inning home run from Jock Peterson put the Dodgers ahead 3-1, and that was the final score, folks. Game 7 is tonight in Los Angeles. First pitch at 8:20.
Oh, you're not going to make that one either, Rich.
You'll be 2 hours in.
Take a nap.
I
Take
wasn't
a nap.
here to try.
And then you can
The
stay
game
up
won't
and
be
watch.
over till midnight. I can't.
Do you want a grumpy Rich tomorrow morning?
No.
Okay.
Watch
you're
the
gonna get
highlights
one
tomorrow
anyway.
morning.
That's true.
Doesn't matter. All right, let's take a look. We got some weather to talk about. Check out the numbers right now. 40 degrees. Yeah, if you were up late, didn't get a lot of sleep, just go outside without a jacket. That'll wake you up in no time. 40 out there, a little breeze out of the south at around 6 miles an hour. So there is a little chill in here, but it's dry, so we don't have to worry about any rain, no snowflakes this morning. Temperatures are running just a touch colder than yesterday. A degree or so lower here in Rochester. About 5 to 10 degrees colder, though, for you guys in the Finger Lakes. Even colder down in the southern tier than this time yesterday morning. So you'll definitely notice a little chill. Now, we've been talking about those temps from October. This year so far at 58.2 degrees. That's the average. Does not include yesterday. So that will probably go down a little bit once we get the final numbers in. But we're going to be nearly a top 5 for warmest Octobers in recorded Rochester history. Those years, 47, 1900, that's safe. The average was 59.4. 1971 is safe. We're right around where we were in 2007, so that's 4th on the list. 5th place is from way back in 1879. So, yeah, there were warm years a long time ago as well. The average was 57.8 back in 1879. So, again, we could be close to a top 5, again, for warm Octobers here in Rochester weather history. Let's look at the satellite and radar. Just some clouds out there right now, but as we broaden the view, you can definitely see off to the west and the southwest. Yeah, there's a storm on the map. A weak one, though, but it's coming up through the Ohio Valley, and that is a little snow on the northern end of it right now this morning in northern Ohio. Now, by the time the bulk of this moisture gets here, it's going to be just some rain showers. Now, initially, in the hills south of town, there could be a snowflake or two, a melting snowflake mixed in with the raindrops. This is right around the lunch hour. You can see a little green, some pink, and some blue right around noontime. But as we go through the afternoon, primarily green, indicating just some rain showers at 2 this afternoon. And there'll be some showers around at 5 o'clock as well. And look at those temperatures today, only in the low 40s with those raindrops this afternoon. Not the most pleasant of days. Now look at tomorrow morning, another round of rain, but numbers are already into the 50s as we get up tomorrow, and then that'll clear up. I think we got a beautiful afternoon coming up for Thursday. We're back up well into the 60s, so much warmer weather coming up for us to enjoy tomorrow afternoon. So today's forecast again, cloudy and cool and dry to start. Then we'll see a rain or snow shower midday, then just some plain rain showers this afternoon. The high 40 to 45. We'll stay in the mid-40s this evening. Then temperatures will rise towards tomorrow morning. There'll be a little rain early Thursday, but that will clear again tomorrow afternoon, looking really good. Back up well into the 60s. Not bad Friday. Nice Saturday, but cool. Sunday it warms up again. Monday briefly warmer into the 60s. And then here's that 10-day forecast. Yeah, it does turn cold. It is November. We turn the clocks back this weekend, too. Don't forget that. And look at by the end of next week, highs again only in the low 40s. Hey, number 10 minutes away from that full forecast, and coming up in just 10 minutes, our first check of that bus stop weather. Kids getting ready to head out to school on this day after Halloween. I wonder, do the kids still bring the candy in and trade?
Oh, you got to.
Yeah.
Be
doing that? I don't know. If it has nuts in it, it might be tricky.
Maybe that's banned.
Give me the peanut butter cups, all right?
I had a couple last night.
Yeah?
Huh.
I got a whole bunch of Three Musketeers for you, buddy.
Lack of trick-or-treaters means an increased candy For me.
Somebody's going to be on a sugar high for a few days. This guy right here. All right, Rich, thank you very much. A McDonald's customer near Albany in some trouble, and it's all over an apple pie. Police say this guy, 48-year-old William Britt, was upset his apple pie was taking too long at a McDonald's in Rensselaer County and demanded a refund. When he was only offered store credit, officers say he pushed a muffin display case over the counter, breaking it, walked out. Police eventually arrested him at his home. He's now facing criminal mischief charges. Folks, we continue to stay on top of several breaking stories from overnight. First, a crash in Webster, leaving one child dead.
Hours later, a serious crash on 490 in Perryton which shut down the highway. We have the latest coming up in our 6 o'clock hour.
Plus, held hostage. Students at an elementary school out west forced to evacuate after police say a man took a teacher hostage. The suspect shot dead by police. We just got information about this overnight. What we are now finding out about the suspect ahead at 5:51.
Olympic dreaming, a skier from our area setting her sights on the upcoming Winter Games. It's a dream she's had for a while, but it didn't always include the slopes. The story is next after a check of traffic next on News 10 NBC Today.
Let's get over to Jazz Williams. We've been telling you about incident on 490, a crash overnight, really tying up traffic this morning, huh, Jess?
Yeah, definitely. And you're going to need to be familiar with an alternate route because 490 eastbound is shut down at Route 31. That's exit 26 to exit 27. So your best alternate route is just go ahead and head east on Pittsford Palmyra Road, make that right on Craig Road, then you can re-enter 490 at exit 27. Now, the latest report, it's definitely closed through the 6 o'clock hour and possibly into the morning rush. So if you normally take Pittsford Palmyra, you're going to have a lot of extra people on the road with you, and you have that construction starting at 9 a.m. One-way flaggers are out once again at the intersection of Mitchell Road. That's right before Marsh Road. We'll continue to give you more information from the First Alert Traffic Center. Pat, Nikki.
All right, thanks so much, Jazz. New this morning, a hostage situation at a California elementary school ends with the suspect shot and killed.
Investigators say a parent walked inside the school, punched one teacher, and took another hostage in a classroom. This happened at Castleview Elementary in Riverside. Students and staff were evacuated. The situation lasted hours before police went into the room and shot the suspect. Police say he died at the hospital. No students were hurt. According to the NBC affiliate in Los Angeles, people claiming to be the suspect's relatives say he had a breakdown.
The countdown is on, Olympic fans. Today marks 100 days until the start of the 2018 Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea. NBC sending us these cool Team USA mittens, Nick.
Can't wait.
But only one pair, so we got
to split them.
At least one hand will be warm this winter.
And this morning, we are hearing from an Olympic hopeful from our area. 20-year-old Morgan Child is a freestyle skier from Team USA. This is video of the Pittsburgh Sutherland grads' winning run at the Putnam Investments Freestyle Challenge earlier this year. She hopes to make her first Olympics after an injury sidelined her last season. The mogul skier trained at Bristol Mountain and hopes to complete her Olympic dream.
I think when I was 5 or 6, I thought it would be for gymnastics, because what girl doesn't want to go and win a gold in gymnastics? But skiing kind of proved to be what I was really good at a decently young age.
Our coverage of the countdown to the Pyeongchang Olympics continues all day. At 5 p.m. we'll talk to freestyle skier Chris Lillis. The Pittsford native is one of our area's best shots at a medal at the Winter Games. So Pittsford really representing there.
Yeah.
All
this
right.
is exciting. 100 days, Rich.
USA.
Yeah, baby.
Are you jealous of our mittens?
That's right. You can keep those, too. They didn't even come with a matching hat.
I know. What's up with that? Or scarf?
Yeah, well, we have to buy those.
Maybe that's on 50 days. They'll send those.
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
Good, very good. Anyway, you go USA chant. I think we should start a Lake Effect Snow chant. No. Lake Effect Snow. Lake Effect Snow. No?
Get rid of Rich. I'm kidding.
All right, I have enough here. All right, I'll stick around. At least for another few minutes. Hey, we got temperatures in the 30s, low 40s, 36 in Leroy, 39 Avon here in the city in Kendall. How about 40 in Irondequoit and Fairport, 40 in Canandaigua, 34 right now in Bristol. You guys saw a few flurries in the air yesterday. Ooh, down in Dundee, it's 28 this morning. Cold down there. Parts of Gates County, 31 in Swain, 35 right now in Dansville. Now, we are tracking a weak system coming at us from the Ohio Valley. And yes, the northern edge of this precip shield, right now at least, a little bit of light snow in central Ohio. So as some of that moisture gets in here, there may be an opportunity for a little bit of a mix around late morning, midday in the southern tier, southern Finger Lakes, but primarily it's going to be some cold raindrops this afternoon. So as you get the kids ready for school, it's dry. this morning, but there will be some showers to dodge this afternoon, so you want the umbrella for later in the day, and those temperatures will only be in the low to mid 40s for the afternoon. Pat?
All right, thanks so much, Rich. We appreciate it. We've been tracking several breaking news stories all morning long. We have a fire going on in Ontario County, 2 serious crashes in Monroe County overnight.
First, state police say one child is dead after an SUV crashed in Webster. Just hours later, a car crashes into a truck on 490, shutting down the highway. We have the latest ahead at 6:01.
We are also on top of a breaking story out of Lower Manhattan, where a terror attack involving a truck left 8 people dead and nearly a dozen injured. We are live outside the suspected terrorist's house, where investigators continue to comb through evidence. All that and more next on News 10 NBC Today at 6.
This is WHEC TV, proudly serving Rochester. News 10 NBC Today starts right now.
We are starting you off with breaking news this morning. First, a mangled mess on 490 after a serious head-on crash between a car and a tractor-trailer. This will impact your morning commute.
Also breaking, horrific. That's how first responders describe an overnight crash in Webster. A child is dead. We have the latest on the investigation.
Devoured by flames, a home destroyed after a fire breaks out at a home in Ontario County overnight. The massive blaze sending plumes of smoke into the sky. We have a live report coming your way just ahead.
We also have new details overnight in a terror attack in New York City. What we're now finding out about the man police say killed 8 people and injured nearly a dozen more. We're live outside what is believed to be the suspect's home. It is Wednesday, November 1st, 2017. I'm Nikki Ryan.
And I'm Pat Taney on top of several breaking stories for you this morning. Chris Orvaditz live in Ontario County at the scene of that fire. Casey Jones tracking that deadly crash in Webster.
Charles Molnau is live in Paterson, New Jersey, where investigators are going through the home of the suspected New York City terrorist. Jazz Williams has several road closures impacting drivers this morning. And First Alert meteorologist Rich Cornelia will have your forecast in just a bit.
But let's begin with a series of breaking stories from overnight. We start on 490, a crash there, shut down the highway this morning.
It happened just before 2 a.m. Here's the latest video. Deputies are still investigating, but we can tell you a small car and tractor trailer crash. This happened on the eastbound lanes between the Pittsford, Route 31, and Bushnell's Basin exits. We do not know if anyone was hurt or details leading up to this crash. We're working with deputies right now to get an update, and as soon as we learn more, we will, of course, let you know.
But at that road closed for most of the morning. Is that still the case, Jazz Williams?
Yes, definitely throughout the 6 o'clock hour. 490 eastbound is closed from Pittsford Palmyra Road to Bushnell Basin. So your best bet is just go ahead and make a right, go on Pittsford Palmyra to Craig Road, make another right. Then you can get back onto 490 eastbound at exit 27. Again, at least through the 6 o'clock hour. Could be longer. We'll continue to track it from the First Alert Traffic Center. Pat and Nikki.
All right, more breaking news this time out of Webster.
State police say a child is dead after a late-night crash on 104. Investigators believe alcohol was involved.
Casey Jones tracking the latest breaking details. Casey, what can you tell us right now?
Very sad news this morning. We're told an SUV went off the road, crossed a service road, and plowed into a tree. Now a child is dead. This happened just before 11 o'clock last night on 104 East in Webster near Barrett Drive. State police say a 31-year-old man was driving that SUV, and there were 3 kids in the car. They were 5, 2, and 6 months old. Again, state police tell us one of those children are dead. It is still very early in the investigation, so state police aren't telling us their names yet. Right now, we also don't know if those children are related to the driver. The survivors are being treated as strong right now. State police would not confirm whether alcohol was the cause of this tragic accident, but they do believe it was involved. Again, to recap our breaking news, a child is dead in Webster. In the next half hour, first responders are really taking this crash hard. It was not an easy investigation to handle. In our next half hour, a trooper will talk all about that. We will see you in less than 30 minutes. Pat?
All right. Thank you so much, Casey. To Ontario County now. Right now, first responders have their hands full with a massive fire.
It's just south of the village of Clifton Springs. Chris Orvaditz joins us live from the scene. Chris, what can you tell us?
Well, Nikki, I just spoke with someone who lives next door to this house. It's on Pearl Street, just south of Clifton Springs, officially in the town of Hopewell. That neighbor heard fire trucks, looked outside, saw the fire, went outside, took his camera phone and started recording video. Take a look at what it looked like when that fire was just at its worst less than just a couple of hours ago. This is a home just being built now. The owner is here talking to fire investigators at this point. His mother told me he was supposed to move in a month from today. Firefighters say they had no chance when they showed up here on scene. This broke out around 4. At this point, firefighters have just about all of the flames knocked down, but it is still very, very smoky, as you'll be able to tell at this point. And like I said, the owner here on scene, he's talking to fire investigators right now. After they are done speaking, I'm going to go talk to him to see if he can shed any light on what's going on here behind me. Obviously, it's very tough for his family right now to sit and watch this, though, as this was a home just being built, hoping to move in a month from today. We are live in Hopewell, Ontario County. Chris Harvat, News 10 NBC today.
That is heartbreaking. Chris, thanks so much. Breaking new details overnight on the deadly terror attack in Lower Manhattan. Sources identify the suspect as 29-year-old Sayfullo Saipov.
He's an immigrant from Uzbekistan, and right now he's in critical condition after being shot by police. We're told 8 people were killed, nearly a dozen more injured when police say Saipov deliberately drove a rented truck at least 10 blocks on a bike path near the World Trade Center yesterday afternoon. We found out at least 6 of those killed were from Argentina and Belgium. Officials say Saipov was living in New Jersey, drove for Uber, and also has ties to Ohio and Florida.
You know, we sent a crew to Paterson, New Jersey, where investigators are searching what is believed to be the suspect's home.
Charles Molyneux has been speaking with neighbors and gathering new information all morning long. He joins us live with the latest. Charles.
And Nikki, this situation is still very active here in Paterson, New Jersey. We've just seen some crews with the FBI just going in and out of the scene. Paterson is about a 5-hour drive outside of Rochester, and it is here where the street is still blocked off, and that brick apartment building there where investigators say their suspect for this latest terror attack was living.
Just outrageous that this happens, you know.
The news of the attack was stunning in this neighborhood, which has a big Middle Eastern and South Asian community. Overnight, teams from the Joint Terrorism Task Force searched through this apartment building and a nearby business to learn about the suspect, 29-year-old Sayfullo Habibulayevich Saipov. Some neighbors say they recognize him and also know that his wife usually wore a full burqa and that Saipov went to this mosque right around the corner from his apartment.
This is a peaceful mosque. There's no one around here with those type of thoughts.
Saipov is an immigrant from Uzbekistan. He came into the U.S. in 2010, and he had been living at a house in Tampa. He had a Florida driver's license when he was arrested. He worked as a commercial truck driver, and a friend tells NBC he also worked as an Uber driver. He has a police record, a short one, just a few traffic offenses in Pennsylvania and Missouri. Witnesses say he shouted Allah Akbar after the crash of his rental truck, and he left a note declaring his allegiance to ISIS. Fellow members of his community say they can't explain it.
We're not like harmful or anything like that, so I don't know what he's been through or what he went through, but you know, we all should be like peaceful.
Investigators say Saipov had been a driver for Uber. Word out this morning is Uber says he had passed the company's background check. Reporting live in Paterson, New Jersey, Charles Molyneux, News 10 NBC.
Charles, thank you so much. We'll check back in with you next half hour. Let's get right over to Rich now for a check of that first alert forecast. How we doing, Rich?
Yeah, good morning, Pat. We're keeping an eye on the weekend for the falling back. We got to change the clock, so to make sure you're ready, Saturday night into Sunday. So that'll be happening. This is the weekend we do it. The sunset on Sunday, 4:57 in the afternoon. So that's the changes coming up over the weekend with the clocks. Right now, it's a quiet morning, 40. It's cloudy out there right now, but those clouds will eventually give way to some raindrops, maybe even a wet snowflake initially in the southern tier as we head into the afternoon. Here's the HRRR model. By lunchtime, you can see a decent amount of green out there. Same for the afternoon, 5 o'clock. Light rain and showers, but it will turn damp and it stays chilly. So have those umbrellas ready to go later today. Temperatures only in the 40s this afternoon. Pat?
Rich, thank you. The man once named as a suspect in the murder of child teen Brittany Drexel waking up in jail again this morning. Federal probation agents say Timothy Deshaun Taylor violated the conditions of his release for an unrelated robbery. Drexel disappeared in 2009 in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Last year, a jailhouse informant told the FBI Taylor and his father had roles in her kidnapping, rape, and murder, but he was never charged in Drexel's death. Taylor is set to appear in U.S. District Court this afternoon. A judge will decide if Taylor should stay in jail.
Later today, the Rochester man accused of assaulting and killing a Gates man is expected to make a plea deal in court. David Torres is charged with the murder of 26-year-old Devin Lewis. Police say last February they were called to the area of Sherman Street and Emerson Street for an assault. Police found Lewis with injuries to his upper body. He was taken to Strong Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Torres is scheduled to be in court for a plea hearing at 9:15 this morning. We'll post updates for you at WHEC.com.
A man not far from Rochester accused of doing something incredibly disturbing inside a McDonald's bathroom.
He's admitted in court to committing sex acts. Ahead at 6:19, we're learning more about the case, including the age of his victim. That is sending shockwaves through one community.
And then nuclear disaster. Right now, 200 people could be dead in a tunnel collapse at a North Korean nuclear testing site. The latest as rescuers continue to search for survivors. Coming your way on News 10 NBC today.
Now, from News 10 NBC, here's your first alert forecast with Rich Camelia.
And at 6:13 on this Wednesday morning, it's cloudy. It's cool out there, that's for sure. Almost a little chill in the air, but at least it's dry this morning. But look at some of the numbers out there. We got 39 in Kendall, 36 Leroy, 38 in Avon and Retzel, 35 for you guys down in Dansville. Well, there's been a little clearing. Check out Dundee. You guys down in central southern Yates County are in the upper 20s this morning. Yeah, 28 down in Dundee, where it's a little cloudier, though. 40 at Sodas Point, 40 in Irondequoit, 39 right now in Fairport. Eventually, even if there's a little clearing, and you can see it there on the satellite and radar, that little bit of a lack of clouds there over our far eastern areas. Pretty overcast, though, here in the metro. Everyone's turning cloudy as we go through the course of the morning, and eventually we're going to be turning a little bit on the wet side before today is over with. Here's that system coming out of the Ohio Valley. You can see a round of rain and a few wet snowflakes even in central parts of Ohio. Not a big storm. We're not expecting any heavy rain, no wind-driven rain, nothing like what we had last weekend, Sunday night. But there will be some light showers out there for sure this afternoon, and it's going to be a cold rain with temperatures only in the low 40s with those showers later today. Here we go around the lunch hour. Still dry in the city, but we can see that little bit of mixed precip in the southern tier going over to just raindrops for the afternoon. 2 o'clock, some showers. 5 o'clock, we got some showers. Those will clear this evening. Then we'll get another round of some rain early tomorrow morning. That's a warm front that'll be lifting through. And then once that clears midday Thursday, I got to tell you, Thursday afternoon looks fantastic. The showers are gone. The skies might break for a little bit of sun. And look at the temperatures today. Low 40s. That's it with the raindrops this afternoon. But by tomorrow morning, we're seeing temperatures climb into the 50s. And by tomorrow afternoon, we could be up into the low to mid 60s. So a nice warm-up coming for tomorrow afternoon. So the weather today, after a cloudy, cool start, it's going to be a damp, chilly afternoon in the 40s. We'll stay in the mid-40s this evening. Then temperatures will rise overnight. We're looking at that round of showers first thing tomorrow morning. Then we'll have clearing in the afternoon for a nice day, 65. Friday, sun, cloud, shower, 57. Chilly on Saturday, but dry, near 50. It warms up Sunday, Monday, but there will be a threat for some showers, and temperatures drop once again in our 10-day forecast. Check that out, only in the 40s next week, and we could be even colder by the end of next week. And about 10 minutes away from that full forecast, and coming up in just 10 minutes, we'll have another check of the Drivecast, bus stop weather for the kids, and we're also going to be looking at the average temperature for October, and we're going to be setting any records for warmth the month that we just finished.
Okay, while you work on that, we've been tracking several breaking stories here at the news desk. Tragedy on 104.
A child is dead after a crash in Webster. 3 others in the hospital. We're still working to get more information from state police. We have the latest straight ahead at 6:31.
Then at 6:33, terror attack. Continuing to learn new details by the minute. 8 people dead, a dozen more injured in New York City following an attack in the name of ISIS. Coming up, new information from federal authorities in a live report on News 10 NBC today. New this morning, an Albany area man facing up to 20 years in state prison.
59-year-old Kelly Tremblay admitted to committing a sexual act with a 5-year-old inside the bathroom of a McDonald's. Police say he abused the child last August. He also admitted to inappropriately touching a 7-year-old. Tremblay will be sentenced next month.
New this morning, up to 200 workers could be dead after a tunnel collapsed at a North Korean nuclear test site. According to media there, around 100 people were trapped when the unfinished tunnel caved in. A second collapse during a rescue operation meant it was possible the death toll could exceed 200. Experts say a series of tremors and landslides near the nuclear test base has destabilized the ground surrounding the region.
The former mayor of Jackson, Mississippi gives a thief a lesson he won't soon forget. It was all caught on camera. Former Mayor Tony Yarber caught a man trying to break into his car outside his home over the weekend. After a fight between the two, Yarber pulled his intruder into his garage and disciplined him using a paddle. Gave him some spankings, I guess. The would-be burglar was arrested and charged with auto burglary and possession of marijuana. He is now in jail.
Let's get over to Jazz Williams. A busy morning for her, tracking a crash on 490, which will no doubt impact your morning commute. Jazz, what's going on?
Yeah, and also we have another accident I just became aware of. This is on Union Street near 531. I'm already noticing that traffic is slowing down on eastbound 531. 490 is closed, as you mentioned, and that starts from exit 26 over to exit 27. So you'll need to get off at Pittsford Palmyra Road, take that over to Craig Road, then you can swing on over to exit 27, re-enter on 490 eastbound there. That will be closed throughout the hour and possibly through the morning rush. Pat, Nikki.
All right, thanks so much, Jazz. We're staying on top of several breaking stories. Out of control, a massive fire at a home in Ontario County.
The flames so intense, firefighters could not get inside to fight it. We have a crew there. A live update coming up at 6:34.
Also ahead, a head-on crash between a tractor trailer and a car on 490, leaving a mangled mess this morning. As we mentioned, it will impact your morning commute. The latest information at 6:32 here on News 10 NBC today.
And you're never more than 10 minutes away from that full News 10 NBC forecast. Waking up to temps in the 40s, and it's not going to get much warmer today. Rich Cadelia also tracking some showers. Your first alert forecast is coming up in 3 minutes.
Now, from News 10 NBC, here's your first alert forecast with Rich Cadelia.
It at 6:25 on this Wednesday morning. A little chill in the air. That's right. We're in the 30s and low 40s. 41 in Hilton, 40 in Irondequoit, 39 in Fairport here in the city and up in Kendall. How about 36 out in Leroy, 38 in Retzoff, 38 in Avon, 37 for you guys down in Dansville out in Ontario County. A lot of 30s as well, including around Bristol. 34 right now in Wayne County. You're in the 30s and near 40 to start your Wednesday. Let's go to the satellite and radar. We are tracking a weak storm system, but it's on the map. You can't miss it, huh? In the Ohio Valley. But it looks like the bulk of this precip is headed more towards Pennsylvania than New York State. But we'll see the northern edge of this arrive here this afternoon. So we're likely to see some showers develop as we go through the lunch hour and into the afternoon. So no issues this morning weather-wise. It's going to be dry, but there will be clouds around 38 degrees at 8 a.m. for the morning commute. By midday, though, we will see a few raindrops developing, and we will have off and on showers through the afternoon commute with temperatures today only in the 40s. Sun up 7:46, sunset tonight will be at 6:02 this afternoon.
All right, thank you so much, Rich. News 10 NBC today, tracking breaking news. Officials investigating a serious crash on 490.
It involves a car and a tractor trailer. It could impact your morning commute. Our crews have been working overnight to bring you the latest information. That's ahead at 6:32.
Also up in flames, a church catches fire while you were sleeping. The blaze could be seen for miles here locally. Ahead at 6:34, the details of what we know right now. News 10 NBC today at 6 continues next.
Halloween horror. We are on top of two serious crashes from overnight. The first leaving a child dead in Webster. The other, a crash between a car and tractor trailer on 490 in Perrington. News 10 NBC has been on both scenes all morning long. We have the very latest.
Heartbreaking new details about an intense fire burning in Ontario County. Take a look at this video. Why one homeowner's new dream just went up in smoke. We're live with that new information.
As if that wasn't enough, a church also goes up in flames overnight. The smoke and fire could be seen from miles away. What we know is fire investigators try to figure out what sparked this blaze.
Bloodbath. A terrorist rams through a crowd of people, killing 8, injuring several others. Investigators have been working overnight. News 10 NBC, the only station to have a local crew there live this morning.
Apple pie anger. An upstate New York man could get jail time all because of an incident involving apple pie. The story that will have you talking on this Wednesday, November 1st, 2017. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Nikki Rudd.
And I'm Pat Taney on top of several breaking stories for you this morning. Chris Horvatitz live at that fire in Ontario County. Charles Molyneux live in Patterson, New Jersey, near the home of the suspected New York City terrorist.
Jazz Williams has several road closures after a serious crash, one on 490, that really could impact your commute. And First Alert meteorologist Rich Cornelia will have your forecast in just a bit.
We begin. Casey Jones is on top of breaking news out of Webster. A child is dead. 3 others are hurt after a car swerves off the road and into the woods.
This happened on Route 104 near Barrett Drive in Webster. Casey has the very latest on this heartbreaking crash. Casey, police believe alcohol may have been involved.
Yeah, very tragic. State police and Webster police are still ironing out all those details, but we do know a child is dead. Police say this happened after a 31-year-old man driving an SUV went off the road, across the service road, and into a tree. That man was driving down 104, headed east, not too far away from Barrett Road in Webster when this all happened. His SUV plowed into a tree. There was a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 6-month inside. Police have confirmed that one of those children are dead after this crash. The rest of the survivors were taken to Strong for their injuries. On a tragic scene like this, first responders arrive expecting the worst.
It's a very difficult scene to process, especially when you have a fatality. You just got to take it like any other scene. You have to make sure you're very thorough with your investigation and make sure that we're handling the investigation to benefit the people that are a victim of the circumstance.
Yeah, police do believe alcohol was a factor in this crash. State police have launched a criminal investigation trying to figure out how this driver crashed his SUV into a tree and killed a child. We can expect to learn more details from state police this morning. As of right now, that road 104 is open and cleared. Nikki?
Thanks, Casey. Also breaking overnight, part of 490 still shut down after a serious head-on crash.
This, folks, could impact your morning commute for hours. Happened just before 2 this morning. Deputies still investigating. Here's what we can tell you right now. A car and a tractor-trailer crash has happened on the eastbound lanes between the Pittsford Route 31 and Bushnell's Basin exits. We do not know if anyone was hurt or details leading up to the crash. We are working with deputies, though, to figure that information out. As soon as we hear something, we, of course, will let you know.
And this crash could cause a lot of headaches for hours this morning. Let's check in with Jazz Williams in the First Alert Traffic Center on that 490 road closure.
Yeah, it most definitely will impact the morning commute. Now, 490 eastbound is shut down at Route 31. That's exit 26. So if you're coming in from Pittsford, may as well just stay on Marsh Road. You can follow that around to exit 27 and then re-enter. But if you do find yourself forced off the highway, just go ahead and get on eastbound Pittsford Palmyra Road. That will take you over to Craig Road. Then you can make your way over back to 490 eastbound. Westbound is open to traffic. 490 westbound does just fine. It's that 490 eastbound that is the headache this morning. Pat, Nikki?
All right, thanks so much, Jazz. To Ontario County now. A fire so intense, firefighters forced out of the home.
The fire broke out early this morning on Pearl Street in the town of Hopewell. Quite the scene there. Chris Horvatitz joins us live with an update. Chris.
Hi there, Nikki. You can still see the smoke coming out from the top of that home there. It's actually a home that was being built. When the fire broke out around 4 this morning, a neighbor started taking video. Here's what it looked like when it was at its worst. You can see it in that video. I just spoke with the owner who is here on scene. He was supposed to move in a month from today. He told me for 15 years he's been dreaming about this home. He really started doing the work on planning it, building it a couple of years ago. He also told me his family said it didn't even have electricity yet. They're scratching their heads, wondering what caused this. A little bit more about the owner. He says he grew up here, lives in Fairport now, wanted to move closer to home. He has been speaking with investigators as they also try to figure out what caused this. I asked the owner if he wanted to talk on camera. He declined, and hearing him talk, I understand it. You can tell he's very visibly shaken, understandably, by what you see behind me here. Firefighters haven't been able to speak to them yet either on camera because they're still doing some work here just south of the village of Clifton Springs. Obviously, you can see the smoke. They still have a little bit of work to do here. Live in the town of Hopewell, Ontario County, Chris Horvatitz, News 10 NBC today.
Okay, Chris, thank you very much. Also tracking breaking news out of Wheatland.
Firefighters responded to a church on fire early this morning. There aren't many details at this time, but according to our search of records, the address there on Union Street belongs to One Road Church. It caught fire around 1 a.m. You can see huge flames, heavy smoke in this picture. No word on any injuries. A cause is still under investigation. Of course, we'll stay on top of this fire and bring you any updates as we get them.
Also continue to stay on top of breaking news out of Lower Manhattan, where 8 people were killed in a terror attack.
11 others were seriously hurt. One World Trade Center was lit up in red, white, and blue overnight in honor of the victims of that deadly attack.
The incident happening right in the shadow of the Trade Center. Here's what we know right now. Last half hour, we told you police say 29-year-old Sayfulo Saipov plowed through a crowd of people on a bike path in a rented pickup truck around 3 yesterday afternoon. Investigators tell us he hopped out of the truck, started to fire a BB gun. Officers returned fire, hitting it.
We're told the suspect was taken to the hospital, but is not cooperating with police, leaving a lot of unanswered questions. So what exactly will investigators be looking into now? New at 6:30, we spoke with a retired FBI agent here in Rochester who used to cover these types of cases.
Primary areas of focus. One is the crime scene itself, right? We have the vehicle, the rented vehicle from Home Depot, which is going to have a plethora of evidence and information in it. Who knows what's inside there? You have victims and witnesses, their testimony. You have surveillance cameras in the area, not only in the immediate area of the attack, but maybe the ingress routes of the attack.
Want to tell you what investigators have been doing overnight, sifting through what is believed to be the suspect's home.
Now, Charles Molyneux is there live in New Jersey. He's been speaking with neighbors and gathering new information all morning. He joins us live with the latest. Charles.
And Nikki, it has been all night. In fact, about 16 hours since that attack in Lower Manhattan happened, and investigators are still busy here at the scene of the suspect's home in Paterson, New Jersey. Actually, it's that red brick apartment building there on the right. They've been going through his apartment as well as the computers and electronic devices to learn whatever they can, while this community is shaken and angry.
I honestly wouldn't know what to say because of how shocked I am.
Hazma Ramadan goes to the same mosque as the suspect in yesterday's attack. Some members of the congregation say they recognize him. 29-year-old Sayfulo Habibullevich Saipov is an immigrant from Uzbekistan who came to the U.S. in 2010. He had lived in a home in Tampa before coming to this apartment building in Paterson with his 3 children and his wife, who neighbors say usually wore a full burqa. Members of the mosque, less than a block from Saipov's home, say theirs is a quiet community.
I go to the mosque and it's all full of peace. It's all full of peace. There's nobody that I know goes to radical.
Overnight, police, FBI, and members of the Joint Terrorism Task Force executed search warrants at Saipov's apartment and went to a Home Depot in nearby Passaic, where he is believed to have rented the truck used in the attack. Witnesses say Saipov shouted Allah Akbar after his rented truck crashed, and law enforcement sources say he left a note pledging his allegiance to ISIS at the scene.
We're all peaceful. Everything is good. We have no problems with nobody. We just try to create peace.
Investigators say the attack has all the hallmarks of ISIS or al-Qaeda. In fact, in recent months, ISIS and al-Qaeda leaders have been calling for precisely this kind of attack, using vehicles as weapons. But at this point, investigators say they believe Saipov was a lone wolf terrorist. Reporting live in Paterson, New Jersey, Charles Molyneux, News 10 NBC.
Charles, thank you so much. Want to get a look at that first alert forecast now. Boy, it is chilly out there, Rich.
Yeah, good morning, Pat. Yeah, we're in the 30s and low 40s this morning. You'll notice the chill in the air as you step outside. 40 degrees right now officially at the airport. Many suburban areas, though, are in the 30s. Light breeze out of the south at 6. A lot of cloud cover around the region, but it's dry right now. So we'll have a quiet start to the day, but we are tracking some moisture in the Ohio Valley. That'll be lifting in our direction this afternoon. Check out the HRRR model. Here we go around the lunch hour. Notice that green kind of filling in. Now, this is a light rain, more showery activity, not that heavy downpour type rain we just had Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. But it will turn a bit damp, and it will be a cool rain out there at times this afternoon. So getting the kids ready to go to school today. No issues this morning. Nice and dry, but you need the nice warm jacket, the waterproof jacket, or the umbrella for the afternoon, as it will be damp and dreary later today. The highs only in the 40s. Nikki?
Thanks, Rich. More than 6 months after severe flooding damaged homes along Lake Ontario, several towns in our area are now lifting the states of emergency. Irondequoit town officials tell us they have rescinded its state of emergency. Officials in Penfield and Webster will also be lifting the orders there. States of emergency were first issued back in May due to high water levels along Lake Ontario, which caused flooding for many home and business owners.
Later today, the Henrietta Town Board will have its final meeting ahead of elections next week. The reason this is important, Town Supervisor Jack Moore is up for re-election. Comes weeks after the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission ruled there is evidence Moore made discriminatory comments about employees. Moore says the complaints are coming from disgruntled employees who are out to get him. We're told the EEOC and town employees will be discussed at the meeting. It starts at 6:30 tonight. The finalists are in for this week's Rochester Rocks, the exclusive series here on News 10 NBC, where you pick the best of everything around town.
This week, we've been asking you where you can find the best seafood, and here are the finalists chosen by you. We had a tie, so there are 6 here. Bernard's Grove in Greece, Palmer's in Henrietta, Davies Seafood in Greece, Captain Jim's Fish Market in Rochester, Black and Blue in Pittsford, and Kifno's Seafood Market in Rochester.
To vote, just head over to our website, WHEC.com, click on Rochester Rocks. You can also use the News 10 NBC app. We'll reveal the winner Friday morning right here on News 10 NBC Today. In upstate New York, man in some trouble this morning, but you might not believe why.
This story is just bizarre. How an incident over apple pie could mean jail time for this guy. We'll explain coming up next on News 10 NBC Today.
And you're never more than 10 minutes away from that full News 10 NBC forecast. Chilly today, but boy, Rich talked about that warm-up we're all excited about. You're going to want to hear what he has to say. He's back next.
Now, from News 10 NBC, here's your first alert forecast with Rich Cornelia.
And at 6:45 on this Wednesday morning, I want to give you a quick reminder as we head into the weekend. Yeah, we fall back. We change the clocks back. Of course, when you change the clocks back, you want to maybe change the batteries in the smoke detectors. And I guess our graphic here is trying to remember, maybe it's time to put the hardtop back on the Jeep as well. Don't know why they chose that, but that's the graphic we got. And you can see we're going to fall back. This is Saturday night into Sunday morning, so don't forget to change the clocks. You know the sunset on Sunday? Yeah, it's going to be at 4:57 in the afternoon. But at least the sun will be coming up before 7 a.m. Sunday morning and into the early part of next week. A definite chill in the air right now. We got 39 in the city, 39 Fairport, 38 in Avon, 36 in Leroy. I know a lot of folks around here say they like to wait till November 1st to use the heat. Well, it's November 1st, so you may want to turn it on if you haven't yet. I'm sure a lot of us already have. We've had some chilly days and nights out there. Only 34 in Bristol, 29 right now down in Dundee. Yeah, a few 20s for you guys in Yates County to start off your Wednesday morning. Look at our first alert weather satellite and radar right now. It's just a lot of cloud cover across the area, but we are tracking this system now coming out of the Ohio Valley. And those are a couple of wet snowflakes mixed in with the raindrops in Ohio. Not concerned about snow around here. We might see a little mix right when the precip starts midday in the southern tier, but primarily we're talking raindrops this afternoon into this evening. So not a lot of rain, but it will be a little damp out there. Chilly rain at times this afternoon tonight. Now tomorrow morning, this is 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Thursday. Another round of moisture will move through. That's the warm front. And I got to tell you, when that clears, it is shaping up to be a great day coming up tomorrow. Clouds break for a little sun. We dry out Thursday afternoon. And look at the temperatures. It really warms up. We're well into the 60s for highs by Thursday afternoon. Now, in terms of rainfall today, we're not expecting a lot. We're going to get a 1/10 to a 1/4 of an inch this afternoon, another 1/10 to a 1/4 of an inch tomorrow morning. So we're talking 1/4 to 1/2 inch amounts. That is it in total. Nothing like that heavy wind-driven rain when a lot of us had almost 3 inches on Sunday. It's going to be a light rainfall this afternoon and tomorrow morning. So that's the forecast today. Cloudy and cool to start. Maybe that brief mix midday, then just some plain rain showers later this afternoon. High 45. We'll stay in the mid-40s. The temperatures rise tonight. Yeah, this time tomorrow morning, we're in the 50s with some showers, and then we clear for that beautiful afternoon tomorrow. Friday is fair, just a passing shower, 57. Saturday looks nice. Good-looking fall day, but cool. Another warm-up coming Sunday and Monday, and then the temperatures drop back noticeably again later next week in the 10-day forecast. Hey, now we're 10 minutes away from that full forecast, and coming up in just 10 minutes, another check of live Doppler 10, keeping an eye on that precip as it's getting closer to our region. coming at us from the Ohio Valley.
Okay, Rich, we'll see you then. Thank you. A McDonald's customer near Albany in some trouble this morning. It's all over, and get this, an apple pie.
Police say this man, 48-year-old William Britt, was upset his apple pie was taking too long at a McDonald's in Rensselaer County. He demanded a refund. When he was only offered store credit, officers say he pushed a muffin display case off the counter, breaking it, and walked out. Police eventually arrested Britt at his home. He's now facing criminal mischief charges.
Jess Williams busy over in the First Alert Traffic Center with what you need to know before hitting the road. Jess.
Well, I do have some good news for commuters on the east side. The Bay Outlet Swing Bridge reopens to traffic today after being closed over the summer. So that's some good news. And also on 104, you have an earlier accident. That's all cleared up there near North Ave. The big news, especially if you're on 490 eastbound, headed towards the thruway, that you're going to find that closed. 490 is closed between exits 26 and exits 27. So what you'll need to do is just exit at Route 31, Pittsford-Palmyra Road. You can take that over to Craig Road, and that will get you on over to exit 27 and continue on 490 eastbound. Pat, Nikki?
All right, Jess, thank you very much. We've been tracking several breaking stories all morning, including 2 serious crashes overnight.
First, state police say a child is dead after an SUV crashed in Webster. Just hours later, a car crashes into a semi on 490, shutting down the highway. This could definitely impact your commute. We'll have the latest just ahead.
Plus, a home devoured by flames after a massive fire breaks out. You could see the smoke and flames from this one really intense. The homeowner was just building this home and about to move in. The details coming up in your big stories next on News 10 NBC Today. Waking up to a very busy news day. We begin with state police telling us a child is dead after a crash on 104 in Webster.
A heartbreaking story here. Troopers believe alcohol was involved. They have launched a criminal investigation. This happened just before 11 last night. Troopers say a 31-year-old man was driving when he went off 104 before plowing into a tree near Barrett Road. 3 children, a 5-year-old, 2-year-old, and 6-month-old were in that SUV. One of those children is dead. State police are expected to release more details this morning.
Part of 490 closed right now after a serious head-on crash overnight. This happened in the eastbound lanes between the Pittsford Route 31 and Bushnell's Basin exits just before 2 this morning. We can tell you a car and a tractor-trailer crash. We do not know if anyone was hurt or details leading up to the crash. Deputies expected to release the details a little bit later this morning. To Ontario County now, a home destroyed by fire.
This fire broke out early this morning on Pearl Street in Hopewell. Chris Horvatis joins us live from the scene. And Chris, you spoke to the homeowner.
I did. It's an emotional morning for him, Nikki, and firefighters still have some work to do. They've already made a ton of progress. This is a fire that broke out around 4 this morning, so about 3 hours ago or so. What it looked like before was incredible. A neighbor shot video. That's what you're looking at right now. The home was in the process of being built, wasn't quite finished. The owner was supposed to move in a month from today. He is here on scene wondering what caused this, and so are investigators. The owner told me that this is a home he had been dreaming of for about 15 years. He's been planning it for 2 years or so. Again, was supposed to move in next month. Of course, that won't happen. That home is now up in smoke. Live in Hopewell, Chris Horvatis, News 10 NBC Today.
Thanks, Chris. Fire crews are trying to figure out what sparked a huge fire at a church early this morning. Take a look at this. It happened on Union Street in Wheatland around 1 a.m. Property records showed the address there on Union belongs to One Road Church. John Spalding sent us this photo from the scene. You can see those huge flames and smoke in the sky. No word yet on any injuries. The cause is under investigation.
And this just in, crews in Yates County also battling a fire right now. Just got off the phone with deputies. They tell us flames broke out at a home on Baker Road around 5 this morning. We're told several departments had to respond. Deputies say the fire now under control and the fire departments are cleaning up. No word on any injuries or a cause.
Time now for your first alert forecast. Man, it's pretty chilly out there this morning. Feels like 36.
Yeah, a little chill in the air, no doubt about that, Nikki. The air temp 40. A lot of suburban areas in the 30s right now. Not a lot of wind, thankfully, but that little breeze out of the south at 6 does bring a wind chill, feel like right now, to 36 degrees. So you'll notice that chill as you step outside this morning. And the Drivecast has 30s at 8 a.m. The sunrise today is at 7:46. We're dry this morning. No issues off to work and school besides the cold. By noon, though, could see some showers. Do plan on some raindrops this afternoon as the sun sets today at 6:02 this evening. That's the latest on your Wednesday weather. See how the traffic is with Jazz Williams.
Well, the big story over here in the traffic center, it continues to be 490 eastbound. The traffic is forced off onto Route 31. That's Pittsford-Palmyra Road, as it is closed between exit 26 and 27. Now, that's 490 eastbound. 490 westbound does just fine. Now, some good news for you. The Bay Outlet Bridge is open to traffic this morning, so that's good news for anybody who needs to make their way over there this morning. You can drive. You don't have to go all the way down to 104.
You know what that means? Cold weather's on its way.
Yes.
Already here, actually, this morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on News 10 NBC.
The Today Show is next.
Bye-bye, everyone.